Each episode we will take a look at another zone in the game. To start the series off, we take a look at probably the most wholesome starting zone, Mulgore. Even though it's not sure where the name Mulgore comes from, the word Mulgere is Latin for to milk, and Tauren are basically cows. A coincidence? Maybe, but I think it's pretty funny. The Zone of Mulgore has multiple interesting rare mobs. Maswanark, Awakare or Ghost Hall for example. Maswanark is a pink Tauren strider and was a famous hunter pet in vanilla. There's also a quest called Maswanark where a hunter was wounded by this beast and you need to get certain animal parts of different creatures to make some medicine. There also is a reference to this quest in the Onaran Plains of the Dragon Isles with the quest Nagazurai, where you pretty much have the same story. A hunter got wounded by a creature with the same name and you have to get a medicine. And Nagazurai is another rare mob and a pink horn strider, so it's clearly a callback to this quest. In retail WoW, Maswanark also got a little family. The rare mob Awakare is a woolly Kodo and the only one in vanilla with that appearance. This mob used to be the quest objective of literally the final quest of the zone, but after the cataclysm the story changed and this creature was turned into a rare mob instead. In Classic it roams a very large area and therefore is pretty difficult to find, making it a great last challenge for the Tauren Starting Zone. Ghost Howl is a wolf with a different model than all the other wolves in the zone, which already made it special back in the day, but it also dropped the Demon Scarred Cloak. This item was a usable cloak that also started a quest, from which you got either a mace or a gun. Both were pretty good items for all of the 4 Tauren classes, making Ghost Howl a really useful rare mob. Mulgore is the only starting zone with Kodos, and that's no coincidence. Tauren leather workers have a whole different experience with bags due to the Kodo hide bag. Since the original Tauren classes were warrior, hunter, shaman and druid, there were no cloth classes, so the tailoring profession was basically useless for Tauren. The Kodo hide bag was only added for that reason, so low level Tauren could still craft and trade bags before running into different races later on. The quest Kyle's Gone Missing got added in 2008. When the Make-A-Wish kid Ezra Phoenix Shatterton wanted to make a trip to the Blizzard headquarters and got to create the NPC Ahab Wheathoof, which was also voiced by the kid.
Greetings, traveler. Will you help me find my dog?
In the quest you need to get some tall strider meat and find the dog Kyle. After feeding him the meat, the quest is pretty much finished, so it's nothing too crazy. The kid also got the world first Ashes of Alar mount and helped designing the merciless gladiator's crossbow of a phoenix. Phoenix was his middle name and a personal symbol, and his character was named E-Phoenix. He also got an Elder NPC from the Lunar Festival and a card in the TCG. The original name of the Lunar Festival NPC in Mulgore was Elder Proudhorn, but they changed it in 2008 to Elder Wheathoof, like his own NPC, after he passed away, and they gave him a Phoenix hatchling pet as well. Mulgore is one of a few zones where the Dark Moon Fair took place before the addition of the Dark Moon Isle. You had bonus activities there and a cannon in Thunderbluff which could shoot you over to Bloodhoof. As long as you didn't mess up the timing, otherwise it would shoot you to your death. Bane Bloodhoof used to be a quest giver in the town of Bloodhoof before his promotion to High Chieftain at the start of Cataclysm. But before that he already had a role in Warcraft 3 where he was kidnapped by Centaur. This event was essential in the story of the Tauren joining the Horde. With the revamp of the world in Cataclysm, Mulgore was shut down with a Great Gate. The reason for that is the Alliance completely destroying Camp Tawaho in the Barrens. Originally it was planned to have a big event play out at the gate during Cataclysm, where the gate should be opened and an army of Tauren should be released to take revenge for the fallen civilians of Tawaho. There are even unused voice lines of Bane Bloodhoof in the game files.
Open the gate! I will not let a single human step past me into Mulgore! My people will not be harmed! Sound the drums of war! For Tawaho!
On the hills northwest of Thunderbluff you can find some critters. Nothing special apparently. Some prairie dogs, a few rabbits, a couple of mice. But stay here for a short while and suddenly these critters will start a war. The mice will put on skull helmets and double shotguns and kill the rabbits. The rabbits will turn giant and trample down the prairie dogs, and the prairie dogs will pull out knives and stab the mice. In the east of the zone you can find the Red Rocks, a burial site where you can still to this day see the dead body of Cam Bloodhoof. During Children's Week you even have to bring a child here and witness a body being burned. The Zeppelin from Thunderbluff to Orgrimmar was not added until Wrath of the Lich King. Before that, new Tauren had to walk their way through the Barrens to Orgrimmar and get the flight point there to unlock an easier traveling method. Also, this Zeppelin is the only one that actually flies the entire way, making it the longest ride with the longest waiting time. And nowadays I know absolutely nobody who actually uses the Zeppelin. It was introduced way too late into the game to be relevant and is probably the least used public transportation in the game. I even use the Tusker Turtles or this thing more often. In retail in the Starting Zone there are fledgling braves fighting off Quillboar. They are using Warstomp and Whirlwind abilities, and when on the ground it doesn't look too spectacular, but while flying over them, especially at night, it looks truly mesmerizing. The Brambleblade Ravine was the first big challenge in Vanilla WoW. It's the area with the first aggressive mobs. In the modern version this area is blocked off, but you can still fly inside and find it exactly how it was. With the same huts, the same fires still burning, and in that one cave you can still see the map you needed to collect for a quest. Mulgore was the least played starting zone during Vanilla WoW. Tauren were not as unpopular as Trolls or Gnomes, but these two races shared their starting zone with Orcs and Dwarves respectively. So humans, Orcs, Night Elves and Undead, which were pretty much the big four races in Warcraft 3, were more popular than Tauren, and Dunmerrow was more played than Mulgore because it had two races starting there. But to me, as someone who started his journey as a Tauren about 20 years ago, this zone will always be special. Sometimes I simply log into Classic, sit down at Stonebowl Lake, turn on the music and feel like a child again. This place right here, this feels like home to me. And compared with all the other Horde starting zones, this zone is simply nice to look at. Mulgore is fantastic and I will always love it. But what zone should I talk about next? I was thinking about all the other starting zones first, so let me know in the comments which one you are looking forward to. I hope you enjoyed the video and perhaps learned something new. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you want early access to the videos, you can support me big time by becoming a channel member. Speaking of, Buttlebuddy just became the first 1-year member. Thanks for the great support and shout out to the others as well. Until next time. See ya!